Yeah, yeah. Fresh out the cell with a plan and a boo. Anklet beeping, but my heart's beating for you. Let's go. Met her on a prison pen pal site. She said you cute even in that orange light. Now I'm home and I'm free, kinda on probation. She picked me up in a Prius, pure elation. Got a teardrop tat and a heart full of dreams. She brought cupcakes and some government cheese. I said, girl, you a snack, maybe even a feast. She said, you just hungry cause you live with the beast. Love after lockup, wild and free. Got no keys, but she got the key to me. From yard time to FaceTime, look at us glow. From prison phone calls to reality show. Love after lockup, we don't play. Tinder got nothing on JPay. I did my time, now I'm doing hers. Doing laundry and love, both in spurts.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Love After Lockup Lockdown, where we are covering Season 2, Episode 21. As always, you can find us in our Facebook group and on Instagram at Love After Lockup Lockdown. This week, we would like to send a thank you to David, Daphne, Motor Cop Chronicles Podcast, and Charla for being so active in our Facebook group. We appreciate all of your participation on our content. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Lisa.
And this week we are covering Season 2, Episode 21, Close Calls. This is an episode of Life After Lockup. Lisa, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am fantastic.
So I have been working on stickers for our fans, and I do have 5 that I've made so far. If you have ideas, please let us know of stickers that you'd like. Right now, we are doing sticker packs that we will send to you if you rate or review the podcast on either Apple or Spotify or on our actual page for the podcast in Facebook, not on the group on the page, because there is a way to rate it there. So you can prove that you've rated by screenshotting your rating or review, because sometimes they don't show up right away. So if you want to get to me and personally message me by sending me your screenshot, all you have to do is look for me in the Facebook group. I am an admin, and you can just direct message me, and then I will go from there. I'll get your information. I can get your sticker pack sent out to you. Or you can just send your proof to lalulockeddown@gmail.com.
Excellent. We'll get those stickers sent out to you. This week, we start off with Clinton Tracy. This was a great episode.
Yeah, you can tell that we're nearing the end of this particular segment here, because it always starts to get a little wilder.
we start and they're arguing about him sexting a woman named Stephanie.
Yeah. He says he doesn't even know Stephanie's last name. We started out this whole scene by the ending of the original fight, where Tracy's like kicking at him and slamming the door, taking his phone in the bathroom. Never did find out if she actually looked into his phone and saw anything. I kind of feel like they left part of it out. I was like, oh, she's gonna look through his phone. Then that never really like happened.
I think later in their conversation, later in the episode, their conversation shows that she did read some stuff, because she kind of is like, well, why did you write this? Or why did you say that? Why did she say this to you? Kind of situation. So she'd seen some stuff, but otherwise, if there wasn't stuff to be seen, why was he fighting so hard to get his phone back while she was locked in the bathroom with it?
Exactly. And so the kicking of the door may have stopped her from like looking at the phone, the phone, because I'm like, that didn't look like a very high end hotel or motel they were in there. It was kind of janky.
I can't remember if it was this scene when they showed the damage to the door from where he had been kicking it and punching it.
It was like in the ending of the last episode. But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
he definitely broke that door, and I'm like, man, I mean, you didn't want to pay $22,000 for a lost rental car, but I don't want to pay that. And I also don't want to pay whatever a hotel or a motel will charge you to replace a cheap door, because you know it's going to be a lot more than like a couple $100.
You know Alice and Dad are paying for this. Like, there's
Oh,
no
yeah.
way he has the money to pay for a hotel room door. And just wait till they get the bill for this one.
I don't know if you caught this, but we caught it, and I didn't notice this before this particular episode, but Clint is sniffing a whole lot and rubbing his nose, and he's super jumpy, and he looks really strung out on really bad, and he looked like he had sores on his face. And my husband hasn't been watching the show very often, but he immediately goes, "Is he on drugs?" I'm like, well, here's a person that's from the outside looking in and literally noticed it too.
Yeah, he does not look good. Neither of them look good.
No, she looks gaunt.
She looks so rough and he looks the same. This everything with them is something else. She says there's a jacuzzi, but they're not going to be using it. And if he had brought what's her name, they could have used it. And this idiot says her name is Stephanie. You dumb shit.
I would have kicked him in the face.
You're nicer than me. I'd have kicked him in the nuts. What the
Her
hell,
name is
Clint?
Stephanie. What the hell is wrong with him? And Tracy goes, "Are you gonna leave me or not?" And then Clint like kind of rebuttals with that because this is a healthy relationship. He goes, "Oh well, what you did to me was much worse." Well, or I guess I, I don't know. Two wrongs don't make a right. It's like, well, you did this to me. Well, you did this to me, so this is why I did this to you, and on and on and on. That seems super healthy.
Tit for tat relationships are miserable. You know, you're constantly hurting each other to get back for the damage that somebody caused at some point in time instead of healing and letting it go. It's a
Exactly.
fucking mess.
Yeah, they're a total mess.
He says he apologized countless times, and she said he should have fucked her because she would have felt better about that. Now, okay, that's a weird thing to say, and maybe I'm reaching here, but I feel like maybe both of them during this conversation are fucked up.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know how that made sense. I don't know how that made sense. But remember, we speculated that Tracy did sexual favors for drugs when she left Clint for the because she said women do what they got to do to get what they want.
And I did it. So we weren't even speculating, man. She said it. Like that came out of her
Mhm.
mouth. Now, she misspoke. That's on her. But she did say that she did favors for men for drugs. So she confronts him about saying that she isn't his goddess anymore and he doesn't love her. And he was like, "Oh, I was just mad at you for going back to jail and stealing my rental car." He doesn't go into the details of everything, but he's like, "But what you did to me." So this is where I think that she did read the messages in the phone because how else would she know that he had said those things?
I guess, yeah, that's right, because the whole goddess thing and all. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. But he tells her that he started talking to Stephanie when she went back to jail after the wedding, which was a fairly long time ago. This is like an extended discussion, I don't know, communication between the two of them.
Yeah, and we speculated that it was a long time and that he maybe didn't stop, and he didn't because it's fresh on his phone. So
Right.
he talked to dad, but he didn't stop, and I said I thought he wasn't going to. Let's see if he does, if he continues to have stopped. I mean, if she's smart, she'd be checking all of his shit.
And I would be like, you are going to have to show me forever. You know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. When somebody
Uh-huh.
messes up, it ruins it forever. It's not like you just go, well, oh, okay. I trust you now because you said you wouldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, all he has to do is like buy her a little bit of crack and all his
He said that he started to make plans to be with Stephanie. So, like, I'm wondering,
Wow.
did
I
you
missed
do this like
that.
while she was in prison or did you do this now? Are you doing this actively?
He's making plans, but I was just gonna be like with the person he never met, but like a lot of these people did this. But like, I wonder. He said he didn't meet her in person, but I wonder if he did.
He said he doesn't even know her last name and none of their parts touched.
I don't know if I believe that. I don't know. I don't. I mean, at least the last name thing. I don't know.
The stuff we found out about him since he's been off the show, like, recently makes me question, like, I look at all of this stuff differently.
Hmm.
And we found out in the Facebook group that both he and Tracy were charged in, am I mistaken, in Texas for drugs?
Was it Texas or Ohio? Was it Texas? I don't remember. But yeah. I guess it's like confirmed. Like there was like a news story and stuff. We have to look for it. So, it was like a local thing.
But that information was provided to us recently, so that's interesting too. I mean, why would he be arrested for drugs if she was the only one with them?
Mm, if there was paraphernalia in the vehicle and they couldn't prove whose it was, maybe.
She asks if he's going to leave her, and he says no. She's already done the worst to him.
I don't know much what happens in the later days of their story, but I really want to see whether or not he actually leaves her on his own cognizance or he just has to leave her, or I don't know the answer, but I'm dying to know. I want to know how this actually ends because I don't see Clint ever leaving this woman.
As long as I don't know though, because he doesn't seem, he was obsessed with her when they first got together. I mean, remember, he supposedly waited like 4 hours to marry her while she was off using crack.
Mhm.
And she's his goddess and nothing she does will ever change that. And then he goes from that to, oh, I've been talking to another woman this whole time and making plans to be with her even though we're married.
You're right.
But she apparently just forgives him. She's like, oh, I'm really hurt, but whatever.
I don't think she has a choice because I think that Clint provides her life for her, what little she has. So I'm kind of thinking like it's opportunistic, like if she does that, she's gonna have to go back on the streets if she doesn't have Clint anymore.
I hadn't considered that, but that very well
Hmm.
could be if there's nobody else to take care of her. I swear, at some point in time, she said that she had her family, like she spoke to her family. I have not seen any mention or sight of her family whatsoever.
Nope.
So I don't know if that was a lie. I don't know if I misheard it, but I would have to go back and check my notes. I am relatively certain she said that. But he says he really didn't do anything because none of their parts touched. So that's apparently the guideline there. You can do whatever you want, but as long as your parts don't touch.
Yeah, I'm gonna hardcore disagree on that one.
Next, we switch over to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Sarah had a severe bout of depression about a week after Rain was born,
Yeah, that's not shocking to me
understandably.
at all. Yeah, very understandably. I don't know whether she's susceptible to this or not, but I think that this would have literally have done this to anyone in this situation. I don't know how you could get past all that without being depressed, really.
Right. And at this point, they've been married for a year and a half,
Hmm.
but she is going to see an attorney to discuss divorcing him, as
Yeah,
she should.
yep. She says she doesn't want this life anymore, which we've heard her say before.
Mhm. You can't blame her for that. I mean, who would want that kind of life? Who would want to be with somebody you can't trust at all, who uses you, you know?
Yeah, he's provided absolutely nothing for her and to her either. It's bad. Um, I, I really don't understand what's keeping her with him even up to this point. So Sarah is telling her story to the lawyer, and then the lawyer is basically mentioning custody because there are children involved. So it gets a little more complicated.
Right.
And Sarah says she should file because kind of the lawyer is just like, all right, do you want to file, or do you, because they kind of talk to you a little bit, and she's like, yeah, I should file.
Right. The attorney asks her if Michael would take the kids, and Sarah says, "I mean, he's spiteful, so that possibility exists." This is when the attorney tells her that without a custody order, it would be very difficult for her to get her kids back from him if he took them, which is a terrifying idea.
Yeah, because there's zero agreement. So basically they're both, they're equally both parties and there's no legal ramifications for anything. It's basically, yeah, these are my kids too and he could just like take them because if she can have them, so can he. So they need to figure out who the primary parent's going to be. Now, would I ever be fearful that a judge would give my two small children to a felon? Probably not. But she should still have it in writing.
Yeah, normally
Yeah.
not, but I mean, weird shit happens all the time, and you don't want to take that risk with your kids?
Hmm.
The attorney asks her why she's waiting, and she says that divorcing Michael scares her. And the attorney says, "Well, you staying married to Michael scares me." And she
Hmm.
asks her if she's going to follow through on this divorce.
So, I mean, basically, yeah, the lawyer they just agree that she's gonna go through with it, and then the lawyer is gonna start preparing the documents for her to sign. And Sarah is gonna basically go to Michigan with the girls with the papers, but she can't actually serve him, but she can have a copy of the documents to show him, but she can't
Which is a
actually
terrible
be like,
idea.
here. Yeah, it is a terrible
Right.
idea. And the lawyer literally said that, like, that's a bad idea. You shouldn't really do that.
One, don't let him know what's coming, and two, don't let him talk you out of it. And up until this point, Michael has made Sarah do whatever he wants. He tells her to do something and she does it. He knows how to manipulate her.
And I have a point to that. And part of me thought that maybe she wanted to do it that way because she thought that he would see the divorce papers, get scared, and then be like, please don't divorce me. I want you back. I'll leave Megan. And I'm like, I can't help but thinking that's what was on her mind.
So that didn't occur to me, but that is a very good possibility. I hadn't considered that.
Yeah.
Next up, Brittany and Marcelino. And Marcelino is still zooming around in the minivan, which I laughed out loud. I don't know why I think it is so funny. Him pulling the U turn and zoom.
Yeah. He's like pulling out of driveways with the door not fully shut, the automatic door. It's like this guy is like, I don't know. He is all on adrenaline and bad decisions right now. I don't know what got to him, lost in a poker game. I don't know what the hell. He's just,
I thought really highly of Marcelino originally, but on this watch through, I don't feel quite the same way. I Some of the stuff that both of them are doing, they just didn't get caught. They didn't get in trouble for it. Whereas other people on the show did get caught. You know what I mean? Like Brittany drinking, Brittany hanging out with people who are felons that you're not allowed to be with. Marcelino's anger, Marcelino going to confront Tito. There are issues here, and they're not super innocent that I think they kind of get a reputation of being. But he gets to Tito's house and he walks up to the door and knocks on it, and Tito's like, "Hey, why are you here?" And
yeah, Tito doesn't look that great to me. I don't know if you noticed, he looked quite different than the first time. He looked like he lost weight. He doesn't look that great. Something's going on.
yeah, Marcelino says he has questions Brittany can't answer. And he asks Tito why he hasn't been around for Geo. He said, "I've had Geo for a year." Tito's like, "No, you haven't."
Well, if Tito's getting strung out, he may not realize a year has passed because that's what I was thinking.
Well,
I'm
that's a
like,
good point.
I'm pretty sure that I heard Brittany also say that Tito literally has not taken Gio in a long time.
That's what they've been saying. Yeah. And Marcelino goes, "What do you think March to March is?" So I feel like that year probably is pretty accurate.
They should have been keeping track, writing everything down. Should have got a lawyer, and they should have, well, I know they have a lawyer, but they should have been keeping track of all this, which the lawyer probably did tell them to do. Is
Mm-hmm.
he taking Geo? Is this? Is that? And this is a terrible idea to go and confront him, especially because Marcelino is like, we don't ask you for money. We're not looking for money. We're just looking for custody. That's not how you get legal custody, by going and confronting the man. That's
No.
not how you get it. What was the point in this? I feel like Marcelino had a super bad day and he was just pissed. And he was going to take it out on someone. And I don't know why this was the decision.
Man, Brittany told him. She told him not to do this. And he does it anyway. And it just pissed me off because you can risk whatever you want of your own. But he is now risking her being able to see her son. Tito could take Gio and just make her fight for everything, could make her fight for visitation. She could not see him for 6 months or a year after having him in her house.
Yeah, and she doesn't actually have any sort of legal custody of Giovanni. Let's not forget that. So this was a humongous risk because they
Right.
basically have this man's child that he has full custody of. But that actually looks good for them, not bad for them. So I don't know why they didn't just bring this to the lawyer and take it to court.
Right. So when Marcelino goes and sits on Tito's couch in Tito's house when he wasn't invited over, Tito says, "Is there a problem?" And he also, again, reiterates, "It hasn't been a year." Whatever. We don't think that Tito is right on that. But Tito asks Marcelino what specifically he's stressed about and says if it's custody, Gio is his and Brittany's child and they will handle it exactly as Brittany had said. And if
Yeah.
Marcelino had just left things alone, I'm sure Brittany could have handled the situation.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure that Brittany should have handled it like that either, by having a conversation with Tito, because it doesn't solve anything. It literally does not solve anything. He still, no matter what they say, at any point in time, could just be like, nope, this is my son. I'm taking him back. Doesn't solve anything. Brittany could have 10 conversations with him and he could agree to every one, but it doesn't make anything legal.
No, but she's more likely to get legal rights to him by talking to Tito than by Marcelino going to flex his masculinity and wanting to have a dick measuring contest.
Yeah.
That's Tito did not respond good to that. Tito did not respond well from the minute Marcelino walked in the door. He was nice enough, he was cordial, but he knew it wasn't going to be like, "Hey, man, I just wanted to know if you wanted to go get a beer."
Yeah, and I don't think that Brittany's ultimate goal was for Giovanni to never see his dad again, but I kind of feel like
No.
that's where Marcelino's brain is like, I'm his dad now. I don't want him to ever see his actual dad again. Whose goal is that? Because I don't think that's Brittany's goal. I don't think that's Giovanni's goal. I don't think that's Tito's goal.
And I really wanted to scream at Marcelino and be like, "Tito is not your stepdad. You don't get to
Hmm.
rectify your personal issues by going to Tito and telling him, and you're not even saying be a better dad. You're just saying you're not with him. I am. We want him."
Yeah, and that would really rub any parent the wrong way, not just Tito. I mean, if
Right.
someone came up to me and was like, "Okay, look, like you're not being a good parent, so now this kid's gonna be mine." I'd be like, "The fuck he is!" And literally,
Right.
Tito's like, "No, this is my son." Yeah, he may have not been the best dad for the last year, but he also may, like I said, have a problem going on because we know he's had one in the past, and it came back.
Well, let's think about this. Let's say that Tito, we know that he has a history with drugs, whether it's selling or using or both. let's say that he began selling or using or both, and in that time stayed away from Geo. If you are going to use, that's a responsible thing to do. He knows that Geo is being taken care of and he stayed away. That doesn't mean he wants to give away all of
Yeah,
his rights and never see his son again.
I agree.
But Tito tells Marcelino that she didn't show up for court and they just gave him 100% custody. And he says, I'm not signing over 100% custody. And it's disrespectful and ridiculous to even suggest that. I agree.
Yeah. Unless there's an actual reason. I mean, if we find out there's a reason, but still, even still, that should definitely have not been a conversation between a man who has no legal right to this child for under any circumstances. It should have been between mom and dad.
Yeah. Remember, Marcelino, you're the stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
So Tito starts yelling and cussing, and honestly, I would have too. And he tells Marcelino, you wear glasses, get a hearing aid.
Yeah. And so, I mean, eventually this huge fight happens, and these camera guys or whatever they are, boom mic guys, they are like getting knocked all around, and the one got punched in the face, and the other guy's super old too, and he's down on the ground. I'm like, where is fucking security? You didn't think it would have been a good idea to bring security with you? You knew this was heated. They knew something was bound to go down. They have these old men trying to hold these two large men away from each other. These are younger guys. They don't, they look a little muscular. I mean, Marcelino was in the service. Tito was, he's street.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they got the one little production guy just kind of sitting on them, like, somebody stop.
and they're both like in their 50s and 60s. I'm like, someone's gonna get killed here, and it's not Tito or Marcelino.
Right? And Marcelino tells Tito, he says, you're talking to a grown man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're shocked. But I mean, if we're talking about who won the fight, it did appear that Marcelino had not even appeared. He had Tito pinned to the floor, which had to
Yeah.
have been embarrassing for Tito.
Yep.
Next up, Andrea and Lamar, and they are driving to Utah without the kids.
These two are cracking me up. Sorry, they put the most humor into this show for me. So I mean, basically, they're having this whole discussion, and they've said in basically Lamar saying things that we've said. He's like, you thought you were marrying a clean cut Mormon guy? He's like, I've never been like that. This has never been my life. Like, I don't know what you expected, but you knew I was like a gangbanger and all of this stuff. He's like, I never claimed to be this.
He says he's crippin' hard.
Tripping hard, yeah. I was cripping hard.
She says that once he visits Utah, she hopes he'll want to move there. Let's see. I'm saying 20% is the max that I will give that he would want to stay in Utah. No part of me believes that he is interested in living in Utah.
I'm going he's 0% interested in living in Utah.
I was just trying to give some credit for the fact that he loves her, but yeah, he would be so miserable living in Utah.
That's the only reason why he would go, for her. That's the
Right.
literal only. Maybe for the kids, maybe. But they're he's like, people are gonna look at me weird.
Yeah, she says you don't know.
Well, if Lamar says what we all said, is that he's like, Utah is very white.
Right. He says that he'll go visit, but there's no way he's moving there. And she says she's happier and more relaxed the closer they get. He wants to move Mormon land to ghetto land so they're not the only black people around. That way she can be happy and he can be happy.
He wants to give her a little piece of Mormon in California. They need to find the Mormon community in California and move there so that Lamar can still be in California, but Andrea's home.
Does LA have a big
A
Mormon
Mormon
community?
big I will have to put that in the group. So they get to the Utah sign and Andrea's like acting like she's at Disney World. She's like, take a picture of me next to the sign, kissing the pole. And Lamar's like, put your tongue on it.
Okay, first of all, why are you kissing a pole? Who wants to see that? That's weird shit.
I wanted her tongue to get stuck to it, kind of. I was like, that would be really funny.
They are both weird. But she FaceTimes with the kids when they get to the Utah border, and she says to us that she left them with a friend in California so her and Lamar can work on their relationship. Which, uh, we'll
I thought she
see.
didn't have any friends in California.
That's what I thought. You're so miserable in California, but you found somebody that you trust enough to watch your children?
I don't know.
Next up, Scott and Lizzie. And she comes out dressed in only a towel and starts insulting his furniture.
Yeah, she's like, this furniture is tacky and nothing matches.
And right about this time, Charlene comes home from work and says, "Oh, it's you again." Charlene asks her if she has a key to the house, and Lizzie says, "Do you?" Charlene's like, "Yes."
I mean,
Charlene lives
Charlene
there.
lives there. Yeah. So it's like, it's a fair question because it's actually Charlene's home right now that she lives in, and she should know who has a key.
But Lizzie feels like she told Scott that Charlene has to leave, so why is Charlene still there? I mean, she has dictated every movement to Scott for so long, and he does it, that I think she just assumes, she expects that he is going to do whatever she tells him to do.
Yeah, and she's it basically insinuating that Charlene's sleeping with him, and Charlene's like, I'm not sleeping with him." And then Charlene calls Lizzie a hoe, and I'm glad that Charlene's fighting back because I don't feel like Charlene would have been insulting at all to Lizzie to her face, but Lizzie's being super insulting to her for no good reason. This woman is just literally Scott's friend and is staying there and has helped Scott out a lot.
Well, I think that Lizzie calls Charlene a hoe.
No, Charlene called Lizzie a hoe.
Well, then they both must have done that because it says
Maybe
she
they both
accuses. Yeah, that's possible. But Lizzie
yeah.
called her a hoe also.
Oh, because I heard Charlene call her a hoe. You're a hoe. But I don't know, maybe they both called each other hoes. I
Probably.
don't know.
Lizzie says, "Let me show you something." And she pulls out the ring and puts it on. And Charlene's like, "Oh, that's real cute." I'm sure Charlene is disgusted, probably vomited in her mouth slightly.
Mm-hmm. Lizzie's basically calling Scott a liar because of everything that's going on that she's making up in her head about Charlene and whatever else she thinks he's lying about.
Right. She doesn't like anything about nothing about him. She doesn't like him. She doesn't like his house. She doesn't like his friends. There's nothing that she likes about him. I wish she would just leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
Charlene said she hoped Scott would lose interest after the date, and she's disappointed that that's not how it went. And I honestly feel really bad for Charlene going through all of this with him because you know that she cares about him.
Yeah, and Lizzie apparently thinks that the only way you can care about a man or a woman can care about each other is if they're sleeping together. Yeah, no, I mean, a lot of men or women have women and are more man friends. I don't know
Right.
if I said that in a confusing way, but Lizzie's used to, having to use sex for everything, and here's a woman that doesn't have to, and Lizzie's probably like, well, why? Why? I do. That's why she doesn't believe Charlene.
I have to scam everybody to get anything.
Mhm.
Charlene says she doesn't know why Lizzie would care if she was sleeping with Scott because Lizzie already said she didn't want him. Right
Yep,
on, Charlene.
exactly. Mhm.
Charlene, if you're listening to this, get in touch with us. We would love to have you on the show.
Yeah, that would be a good guest, honestly. That really would be. We should try to find her.
Yeah.
But Charlene says, I don't think you guys should be in any sort of relationship until Lizzie takes a drug test. And Lizzie says,
Mm.
I'll take a drug test if Scott takes a drug test because she's still on this kick thinking that Scott is on drugs.
Mm-hmm. So Lizzie says Charlene living with Scott makes her feel betrayed and lied to. Well, fuck off. I don't know what to tell you. I have nothing other than that to say to you. And she
Mhm.
calls Scott into the room and tells him to repeat everything that he told her.
There, Scott's in the middle, and basically, I do believe that, and I don't recall, but I do believe that Scott did insinuate that he would kick out Charlene, and then when he's put on the spot, he's literally saying he didn't say that.
I think that from what they showed us, I don't know what was said outside of that. She told him that Charlene had to leave and he said she's got nowhere to go. I think Lizzie thought because she told him to do it that he was going to do it and she just expected it to be that way. So he
Yeah.
could have said more where it wasn't recorded, but what he said was just, she doesn't have anywhere to live. He didn't say, yes, I'm going to kick Charlene out.
Yeah, but Scott also didn't matter of factly agree and say, I never said that. He kind of was real wishy washy about it. And I thought in the car he did kind of say that or act like he maybe would kick her out, but I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
He says he cares about them both and doesn't want to lose either of them, but his relationship with Lizzie will come first because she's his girlfriend. Since when? Since you proposed to her on the beach again and she told you she doesn't want to marry you again?
I would kick him in the shins.
Right?
I would stab him with the metal spork that Lizzie found in the drawer. I would use the potato peeler on his face.
Oh no. Lizzie says she's clean and sober, but he hasn't been himself for a couple of years and she won't take a drug test until he does. And that is the end of that scene. Next, we jump back over to Clint and Tracy. She's left the room and he doesn't know where she is. And he says he's going to pray she's not still mad. Because why would she be mad that he was sexting another woman for a year? He finds her at the pool and tells her he wants to make it right.
Did you catch all the like liquor bottles when they in the first scene when Clint was sitting on the side of the bed before he decided to look for her? There was empty little like
No.
mini tequila bottles and an overturned, yeah,
So they
shot
raided the
glass.
mini fridge.
Yeah, if there was one. They probably walked to the corner store and grabbed all the $1.99 samples, and you could just get a whole damn bottle for the same.
I didn't know I didn't know they were doing all that. I missed that.
Yeah, it was all on the side table. But Tracy kind of looks cute in her little bathing suit by the side of the pool. It was like you never know from a mile away that she's strung
From a
out.
mile away. Yeah. She says that he was a pain in her ass the night before and he should make it up to her somehow. He cheated on you. What do you mean, a pain in your ass? What kind of relationship do you two have? Nobody's going to cheat on me. And then I'm like, you really got on my nerves when you did that thing. I would have been like, I'm sorry your balls hurt that bad. Maybe don't do that again.
Yeah, and basically his way of making it up to her is like he's gonna delete the name and number. I'm like, what century are we in here?
He doesn't even block her first. He doesn't block her and then
Yeah,
delete the
I know.
number.
He said she goes, if she contacts you, he didn't block the fucking number.
Of course, she's
What?
going to contact you. She contacted you yesterday. Why would she stop now?
Oh my god, it was so obvious that like, well, I don't know if Tracy is that gullible, but like, first you block, then you delete.
The only way that any of this makes any sense is if they were actively using in during this time. Because otherwise it makes no sense.
They do. They seem like crazy. Like they're in this like frenzy, right? They're like a friend. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. She tells him that he could make it up to her by renewing their vows and he's like, "We're already married." And she goes, but that's the only way you can really prove to me that you love me. And he agrees. He is not happy about it. So now you've got this man who just cheated on you, and you're like, you have to marry me again. And also, I don't care how you feel about it.
He okay. He should have been like, "That's a fantastic idea, and I love you." And instead, he is
Right.
like, "We're already married." Well, she said renew, and Tracy's like, "We have a love-hate relationship." You fucking think?
There's more going on. Like, you guys aren't clear headed, either one of you. So there's something going on with both of you during this time.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but I can guess.
And then in her infinite wisdom, she's like, "I think we should call Alice." And I'm like, "I think that's a fucking terrible idea."
As does he. He was like, she goes, don't you think Alice would want to know? And he's like, no, Alice will not be happy.
Yeah,
He's got to be
well,
hating his life right then at
oh
that
my
point when not only is she going to make him renew his vows, but then she's going to make him call his mom.
he didn't want them to know that they were in Vegas because mom could figure out what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Look, I can be petty. One time I got cheated on and I made him call his parents and tell them in front of me. Good times. Anyway, he's worried because his parents don't even know they're in Vegas, but she thinks this is going to be a great gesture. Remember, they went to Vegas to celebrate her getting off of parole, and he purposefully did not tell his parents because he knows it's a terrible idea.
Yes,
Well, guess what?
it's they call Alice.
Yeah, they do.
They're like, "We have something to tell you," and she's like, "Oh, honey, I don't want no babies."
Yep. Oh, poor Alice. Alice is a saint, but she says that she's in shock. I would be too, to find out that they are making so many terrible decisions so close together.
Yeah, and basically they're like, "Oh, we're gonna call you after or FaceTime you and blah blah blah." And Clint's like, it's there's not gonna be no motherfucking crack calls."
Yep,
And I
don't worry, you
immediately
won't.
thought about you.
As soon as I heard that, I was like, oh, Lisa loved that. Next up, Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Megan goes to her dad's house and he's there cooking and she sits down to talk to him.
Oh, I love this dad. Everyone needs this dad on the show.
He's, I don't know what else he could have done other than what he did, but she says her dad doesn't know that she's still talking to Michael or that she went to Michigan to see him. Originally, I thought that she lived with her dad. She must have moved out like in this time frame because I think that she originally lived with him. I could be wrong.
I mean, this dad could just lay down on Michael on accident on the couch and just Michael's done. I mean, if I were Michael, I would be scared shitless of this dad. Honest to God.
I don't think Michael's scared of anyone.
Yeah, I know. I don't know why, but I guess he's not.
The only thing I could see Michael being scared of is being alone, which is why he would be so
Yeah.
he would gravitate to always having all of these women all the time.
Yep, that makes sense. Although he seems to have family who's there for him, which doesn't make any sense.
Well, he can't fuck family.
Yeah, well, but dad is basically saying to Megan, like, he's just like, you just must want drama in your life because he's like, this is not making sense to him. And,
Right.
you know, he's saying things that make perfect sense. It's like, how is he going to provide for all of these babies?
Right.
Questions that make sense by dad.
He tells her that she's not exercising good judgment, and I could not agree more. I don't know what she sees in Michael to begin with, but I don't know why she hangs on.
Nope. And dad's saying things like Michael can't keep it in his pants. And then he says something to Megan that made a whole lot of sense. He's like, most women have intuition. Like your mom has intuition, your grandma has intuition. He's like, you don't have any intuition.
Sure seems
Mhm.
that way. Her dad says that if he saw Michael, he'd hand out an ass whooping. And then he tells Megan to call Michael so he can have a talk with him. And
Yeah.
surprisingly, she does it, which I didn't expect. I don't, maybe it was part of the drama, like the folder issue. It was a folder moment where they were like, you have to call him.
Plus, I just think Megan likes drama. She just
She
likes it.
must. She must. There's no other explanation. And Michael stays calm the entire time her dad is talking to him. Like he is completely unfazed, which just made me more angry.
And that is just like how this guy is. He is just deer in headlights, monotone Michael who doesn't react to anything. The only
Mm-hmm.
time we ever saw him react any differently was when he was on his mom's porch and pushing snow all over the place and flipping a bench over something that we really didn't think he was too upset about to begin with, which was being there for the birth of his child, which we know was a farce.
I thought it was over Megan's little kissy poo with his friend.
Well, that's what it actually was over. I think, well, what his anger was about, but they showed him doing that because his PO had said he couldn't go see his baby be born. But we
Okay.
really know that the anger was there because of Megan, not because of the not being able to see his babies. Because if he could have had the date with Megan, he wouldn't have been upset at all about not being able to see the baby be born.
Right. Next, we're back to Andrea and Lamar, and he says Utah is too quiet, and he says, "Oh no, there's two black people in the middle of the street. What do we do?" He's worried they're going to call the police on him.
Yeah, he's like, the neighborhood watch is watching us, and they're gonna notice two black people walking. The whole scene, this tiny little scene, was super funny.
Then we're back over to Megan, Michael, and Sarah meets Emmy at a coffee shop and tells her she's pregnant, and then says she's lying. Thank God. Or Emmy.
Oh, and sadly, it could have been possible.
She tells Emmy about going to see the attorney and says she doesn't feel like she has a choice or that he sees her worth, which makes sense.
Hmm. Sarah is saying that she failed, and Emmy's like, no, you didn't fail. He's the one that failed. You've done everything
Yes.
right.
Yeah. He's the failure.
Hmm.
Exactly. Sarah says she's not an emotional person. That could be true, or it could be one of those things that we all believe it. We believe things about ourselves that aren't true, but we like to feel like that's true. And honestly, there's no way to know because I don't know Sarah outside of the show. I know what the producers decided to show us.
That's very true.
But Emmy's worried he's going to manipulate her and talk her out of the divorce. And I think that is a real concern.
Yeah, honestly, I would have taken her with me.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that Emmy could have handled seeing Michael face to face. Like you remember last time when they got into that argument.
Hmm.
Michael's such a Next, we're back to Andrea and Lamar, and they are on their way to a party. And she says he's going to have so much fun. He's going to want to move to Utah. This is going to be one hell of a
Yeah.
party, apparently.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Lamar's like, if this party ain't lit, I'm out. He's like, what's a Utah party? A bonfire?
Then she brings up the quote weed house because apparently that's what got him to come to Utah to begin with. He was trying to make up the fact that she went to a weed house by going on vacation with her to Utah.
A weed house, better than a trap house.
Right? You're not going to get murdered at a weed house.
What is a weed house? Sorry. I want to make a shirt now that says weed house.
I would wear it. Go into the weed house.
If we make a shirt that says weed house with the QR code on our back, how many people will scan that? A
But this is a
lot.
letdown. But yeah, he says all Utah parties are church music and bonfires in the snow.
I couldn't remember the exact quote, but yeah, that was it. And then they have this like random friend who's like, this is such a freaking lie. She goes, if I didn't know Lamar was a hardened criminal, I wouldn't have guessed. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Because this guy's speaking full on ebonics. He's like, oh, hood as can be. I mean, he dresses nice. That's about it. He even carries himself like a gang, a thug. I wanted to say gang member. How does a gang member carry themselves? He carries himself like a thug.
He was at this party and then he found out that he accidentally bought non-alcoholic beer. So that's not the time you want to find that out. Like, if there was ever a party that you don't want to have non-alcoholic beer at, this is the one.
I mean, I thought that was hysterical because they were probably, if he hadn't said anything, they would have been like, oh, look, Lamar's got non alcoholic beer. That means he wants to convert to one of us because he's no longer drinking alcohol. So I thought that that was really hysterical. He's like, this is a non-alcoholic.
They're trying so hard. And then he's there talking to the one other black person about white people making chitlins. He's like, why didn't they just make fried chicken?
I know, he's like, well, she's making chitlins because I'm black. Like, and then he's like, why didn't she make fried chicken? I'm like, dude, which is the lesser of the two evils? Because both are really racist if you're saying it like that.
He's obsessed with being black around all white people. I just think it's so fun. I'm sure he's just, feels out of place and uncomfortable because I would assume from what we've seen, everybody he hangs around with is black. I haven't seen him hang out with anybody who's white. I'm sure he
No,
has white
and
friends, or maybe he doesn't. I don't know, but
he might, but I'm sure they're more in his like in his wheelhouse, not not like these people.
yeah. Her friend asks how long he has left on parole, and he says a few months. And she asks him if he's moving to Utah afterwards. And he says they should have allowed him to do that directly out of prison, but that he got comfortable in LA. And her friend says, does it matter that she wants to be in Utah? And he's like, kinda.
Well, they start discussing, the fact that Andrea doesn't have any family in California or LA, and then Lamar's like, "Well, she doesn't have any family here either." But I mean, Andrea does consider her friends her family, and we really don't see family for Andrea much. I think she had family at the wedding, right?
I don't
I'm not
know.
sure.
There's a lot of questions that go unanswered, that they just don't explore. So he goes fishing in what looks like a backyard pond with some of the guys at the party. And he says he's
Yeah.
trying to catch a shark. And one of the guys tells him they're all in the corner.
He cracks me up. I mean, I know we didn't really care for Andrea and we still don't, but these two crack me up. They're super funny. Um
I like Lamar a lot. Andrea, I just feel like she's so pushy and selfish.
yeah, that guy at the fishing pond has the reddest hair I have ever seen in my entire life.
That is not natural. And it's not natural, obviously, but if you look at his eyebrows, there's proof that it's not natural. Nobody has hair that color. It's like orange. I've never seen, it's not a natural color.
It was like Cheeto orange. I mean, it was real
Yeah.
like hot and spicy. What are they called?
Oh yeah.
The hot Cheetos,
Hot Cheetos. Yeah.
Cheeto
I don't
color.
know. So the guy talking to him tells him that he should move there, and he's just like, yeah, we'll see. She really laid it on thick, and I would be uncomfortable and unhappy if I were Lamar. I would not want people constantly telling me what I should do.
No, and he's not the type of guy, again. This is not how he is, how he's used to being.
Right. Pressure him, he's gonna do the opposite.
Yeah, that's what he's shown up to now, but jail or prison again might have made him think twice. It all depends on how much he wants to keep his wife, honestly, and how much he's going to comply. But Andrea secretly has talked to her old boss about a job back in Utah.
Right. And she says she has a plan to keep him in Utah.
Oh, and then shocker, the friend says that it's not good to hide things from your husband because, but Andrea breaks all the fucking Mormon rules. So why not break
Right.
this one too?
Andrea has a problem with thinking that she can do whatever she wants as long as she says that she's doing the right thing.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
So her friend tells her she needs to pray on the Lamar situation. And a guy walks up to Lamar and says she asked him to talk to Lamar about him staying in Utah. And he says he's getting Children of the Corn, Mayberry, Twilight Zone vibes. I agree.
Did you know the rapture was supposed to happen today?
I did, yeah. I guess everybody's still here.
It was a good time for that. Good to bring that up. They're fully, this is how the Mormon religion is. They fully intend on trying to convert Lamar into Mormonism, and apparently Tennyson's gonna go on a missionary retreat thing, or I don't know what the hell it is. But the pastor's telling Lamar all about it, and he asks Lamar if he'd convert, and basically the
Yeah.
answer's no.
Lamar tells the man that his beliefs don't match up to theirs, which is fair. He tells the camera that if he converts to Mormonism, all of his ancestors will roll over in their graves and his grandfather would wake up and slap him.
Yeah.
So that, yeah, a long winded no.
Yeah.
And we end this scene with Lamar saying he's not moving to Utah and he's not becoming Mormon, which is fair. It's the same thing he said from day one.
Hmm.
All of this of him converting, him moving, him doing anything is something that she created in her own mind.
Yeah.
Now, he did say originally he would go to Utah to be with her. So there was that. That didn't work anymore. Like that, we've moved on, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Next, we're back to Megan, Michael, and Sarah. Sarah is taking the girls to Flint to see Michael so he can meet Rain.
Yeah. And Aviana, which I thought was super cute, is just saying she's waited years and years and years and years and years and years and years to see her dad. It's true. It's literally true her entire life.
I'm sure it feels that way when you're 3 years old.
Yeah.
Sarah said all the drama takes a backseat to the well-being of her kids. I don't like
Hmm.
everything Sarah does. I don't like that she fights with Michael in front of the kids, but I think that she's a good mother. I mean, she's from all appearances, she seems to be a good mother to take care of the kids.
Yeah. That I think she does. Yeah. I get that too. Basically, she's gonna bring him the divorce papers, even though she was told not to, and she does.
And she does. Yeah. She says it's hard to divorce him because she loves him so much.
Yeah, she said she's loved Michael more than she could even handle. Interesting.
I feel like sometimes when people don't want to be with other people, it makes that person want them more because they can't have
Yeah,
them. You
agree.
know, we round this episode up with Brittany and Marcelino. And Marcelino and Tito are rolling around on the floor, and Tito says, "You can't be talking to me like that about my kid," as Marcelino has him pinned on the floor. I I mean,
Here we go again. There's that old guy sitting on the floor, shirts are torn open. I'm like, somebody get some help. Where is the help?
why don't we think we need a bouncer here? Well, I think like in later seasons, I bet that they beefed up their security.
To think that there wasn't going to be a fight here and to just bring your oldest camera crew members is wild to me.
It is weird. Marcelino gets up and walks out the door yelling, "I fucking told you." Told him what?
So now Marcelino gets in his minivan, and starts backing out of the driveway with the door half open, and now he's worried about what Brittany's gonna say. I would fucking be worried about what Brittany says too. I would be like, I'd go hide if I were him at this
Yeah.
point.
Going home is a bad idea. But he still has the nerve to say the conversation needed to happen, not by you.
Yeah.
He says, not the confrontation, but the conversation. Okay, but you still instigated this confrontation. Like, you went to his house
Yeah.
and then told him he had to give up custody of his son. Why would he do that? You didn't go and say, here's the reasons why I think this would be a good idea for Gio. You went in and said, you haven't been around in that boy's life. Give us custody.
Yeah,
If
and
somebody
go ahead.
if somebody came into my house and told me that what I needed to do with my kids, I feel like there's a good chance it would escalate like that.
Yeah, I've given up a 25-year friendship over someone's significant other trying to tell me what to do with my own child. So I totally get it. I mean, this is much worse, but I get it. And Tito, not surprisingly, calls Brittany and says, "Bring me my son in 30 minutes or I'm calling the police." And Brittany is honestly super upset. We see the scene where Gio comes back. There's a random kid in the background. I don't know who the kid is or the guy or this
Yeah,
extra child. And then she grabs Gio and brings him in the house. And so we don't know what's going to happen until next episode, but probably not anything good.
right. So at this point, like you said, she's got 30 minutes to get Gio to Tito's. Marcelino says he fucked up, but he doesn't actually take any responsibility. He just says, I fucked up, but he still thinks that he was justified in what he did, which is fucked up.
He didn't think it through at all. He literally was
Mm-mm.
not thinking it through. I can just because he's so impulsive and he's so angry for no good reason. I just feel
Right,
like something happened in his day-to-day life that just got him angry that day, and this is how he took it out. I
right.
something happened.
And Brittany asks him if he thinks it's all just a joke. And he
Mhm.
says, hey, I didn't get violent. Tito jumped up on me and I had to defend myself. I'm
You were
just
in
saying
his
that's not
home.
what I saw. You were in his home telling him what he needed to do with his child. Like, fighting words, buddy. I don't know anybody who would have just sat there.
No.
So I can't wait till next week to see what happens with this, with
Yeah.
all of them. Who is your VIP for the week?
Megan's dad, for sure.
Me too. And your POS?
Marcelino, for he hasn't been our POS in a while. I
Marcelino
think
has
he
never
was
made it
once.
on her. Was he?
No? Maybe
I don't think
maybe
so.
not.
We've rotated between Lizzie, Michael, and Megan, but I don't think
Yeah, if anyone
Marcelino's
knows, let
never.
us know.
Yeah, I don't think Marcelino's ever done anything this bad.
I think we've been like up and down with Marcelino, but yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe we did never crown him.
Well, he got it this time. Episode 21, Marcelino won POS of the week. So that's about it for this week's episode. If you enjoyed the podcast, head over to Apple or Spotify to rate and review. If you'd like to continue the conversation, join our group on Facebook at Love After Lockup Locked Down. Listen every Wednesday wherever you find your podcasts and keep those notifications on to be the first to catch bonus episodes.
And in the meantime, don't fall in love.
And don't get locked up.
First date at Walmart, keeping it low. Told the clerk, don't judge me, I'm on parole. I brought roses, okay, one rose from a gas station. She said, aw babe, now that's validation. We be vibing in a halfway suite. Microwave dinners, romance elite. She my ride or die, she brought me a phone. Even snuck it in once, pre-release song. She hold me down like a key-o with charm. Except she don't mace me or twist my arm. We write vows in Sharpie on my court docs. Judge said no contact, but we beat the clocks. Love after lockup, cuffed and proud. matching jumpsuits, now we rockin' the crowd. She said, don't mess up, I said, bet. Now we're TikTok stars with no regrets. So here's the love and second chance thrill. From a concrete bed to Netflix and chill. They said don't catch feelings, but I caught a case of butterflies, girl, not just in one place. Ankle monitor beep. Oops, curfew gotta bounce.